One of the most difficult things to do is cutting for sign. Just had a subject walk off in the woods here, laying a track for us, and typically on training we kind of give ourselves a range, a 100-foot area that we can search for sign. So what I've done here, we're close to the highway, but I'm standing next to a stump, my marker. I'm going to cut perpendicular across by these trees behind us, and basically as we're cutting from here to the tree line in the background, we're going to see if we can find anywhere to the left and right where the subject may have crossed. And that's why it's called cutting for sign, because you're cutting a perpendicular path to your subject's last known direction of travel. And hopefully from that we can figure out where he's crossed at. So let's see what we can find. So Ray has not left us much to work with here. Thanks, man.
Yep.
All right, so we finally found a track. It took forever. He had to point it out to me. We see here where they got a lot of bent over leaves here, or grass here, where there's a crink on the bottom where he stepped. And then we looked up a little bit, and slowly here. There's some breaks over here. And then you can kind of see a separation where he actually put his foot down and continued on through this mess right here. But again, it's very difficult to find. The conditions this morning are very wet. All of the sticks and stuff are not breaking very well, so we're not getting a lot of crush or breaks or flags or anything. So we'll continue on to this path.
Alright, you can see this break is fresh. This is a fresh crease here, and there's discoloration, as opposed to these that aren't broken.
We see anything up ahead that... So I'm looking at that same path.
Here, probably right here.
That's a good different view now. Yeah, I see your footprint here now. Heel here, instep.
So keep in mind that my toe is going to point outward when I walk.
So we've been cutting for sign against the wood line here because, I'll just be honest with you, I couldn't find anything in that mess. That's just the way it goes. So we cut for sign out there here and saw a couple of game trails. Really we're looking for something that really would pop out. It's very difficult here because of everything's just so wet it springs back up. However, the one thing that pops out in all of this, it's right here. And our missing person here is known to be trying to stop smoking. He did an excellent job, Ray. So he spit out his Nicorette gum just as a happenstance, and it landed perfectly where we could find it. So now we have cast off, and we're going to start looking for sign down range a little bit that corroborates this. And I think that, Ray, do you have your laser out?
I do.
All right, what you got on the next couple of points you think?
Next couple points, one right here. That would be my left foot.
We're pointing right here, right? Yeah.
Right here.
Okay.
Here's my heel and toe.
Okay.
Next would be heel.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And then the next up here.
All right.
That's
Let's move
as far
on
as
then.
I can see.
So Ray has cut we'll call it sign. It was pretty brutal this morning. But we found some good evidence of shadow lines, a lot of deer tracks this morning in the same area. But we're in a ditch right here. If you see up to this side, it's all felled trees, so it kind of limits that. And if I turn around slowly here, give you vertigo, the ditch bank runs this direction as well, and it's pretty deep. And we had some sign coming up off the top of this hill, coming down towards here. And so we jumped ahead about 15 feet, started looking inside the actual track where they actually crossed at. And again, people can't fly, so they had to go across somewhere. Now, edit that out later. Right in here, you've got a step and a slide here. And then right here, you've got the actual footprint. And this is when we can actually measure the size of the boot he's wearing. And then you continue on, just up the hill here. He stepped from here, and then right over there, and then back up the hill. So this is a good print, and we can guesstimate his distance between his stride. So we'll keep following. Still on the same track, and this is again preponderance of signs. So we've got this lodge of this one right here where we walked over it, or he did, rolled it back. But this next step right up in this area right here, we're struggling a little bit with the next one. But what pops out right here, of course, is this, and leaves don't grow upside down. So when his boot drug across this, he turned the leaf over. Here's another one right here. Continued on this line right here. So again, little bitty things in a line.
Right. As I tried to cross the creek here, my boot fell in this hole here, and then I stepped down right here. You can see the side of my boot, but it didn't actually push
Really
down
hard.
very far.
Hit it again, Ray.
Right there. You can see the edge of my boot print.
God. And then,
Next one, right here.
yep. And it's like crushed right there on top of the, just right up in there. Oops.
From
Right
up here I can see
there.
one more where I stepped up.
Yep. Wow. So I found Ray at the win. A few things that we kind of noticed on the way out, talking about things to think about later on. A lot of times you kind of tracked off towards items that stuck out. A rabbit hole, some boundary markers that were concrete, some old beer cans you kind of picked up and discarded. Secondly is cutting for sign when you lose a trail. There were a lot of draws down here and a lot of little creeks. However, this is pretty rough clay area, so the track doesn't hold real well. And you brought up another one. What was the other one?
That a lot of people are they're gonna look for animal sign. That's the whole reason why they're out in the woods, is to scout for deer. So even if you do see a deer trail or a deer sign, that doesn't necessarily mean that the person wasn't on it.
Right, and then we've seen places where deer are bedding down here this morning and left. So there are all kinds of trails back here.
Deer beds.
Ray's not allowed to lay a track until he gains about 200 pounds. Because dude was ghost walking back here, and it was brutal for this early in the morning. Appreciate y'all following along. We'll post some more later. Thanks.